Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of this connection, so we've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story, so we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please do remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed, especially if you're a cross watcher. Just know that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius, let's jump in and see what we've got here. Let's start with overall energy through oracle cards, and then we're going to dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress in the reading. So we're going to first look at your overall energy, Aquarius's overall energy toward the person they are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. Second option. Feeling like an option in this connection, someone better with inconsistencies. Interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. No, I don't think that was supposed to be taken. Yeah, this is complicated. Okay, so I feel like there's this inconsistent behavior that you're dealing with this person where sometimes they make you feel like a priority and other times they make you feel like an option. And I feel like that back and forth energy is really challenging for you because it's like you know that you want more than what this person is giving you, but then like you're afraid you'll never find someone better or that you won't find someone better, or you're not wanting to give up on this connection in case they do become someone better, in case they start to be more consistent and they start to show up, in the ways that you desire all the time. So I feel like the inconsistency and the whiplash that you're getting from that is making it really hard for you to know what the best course of action is for you when it comes to this connection. I know that sometimes it can be hard to let go of potential, especially if somebody, does sometimes show us like who we want them to be, or, does do things sometimes that like gives us glimpse into their potential. We don't want to miss out. It's like, well, what if we miss out? What if this person does grow? Or what if they do start, being consistent, or I miss out on the opportunity that does happen, and then I'm never able to find anything better. And that can kind of keep us stuck in less than what we deserve. But let's see what this person's got going on. This person's energy toward Aquarius. No? Yes? Okay. Triggers. Someone has unmet needs. Stand your ground. Okay. Then commitment. So it's obvious that this person does have commitment issues or fear of commitment, or they struggle with what's needed of them in order to commit in the way that you desire. I feel like this person has kind of an interesting outlook on this connection because I do feel like they see your value. I feel like they see the value in what you provide them. I feel like they don't want to lose you. I feel like all of that is very much there. But then at the same time, it's like they can recognize that they're not necessarily doing what is best for you. It's like they recognize that they're not meeting your needs, or like they recognize that they're not being what you deserve. But then yet the behavior continues. It's almost like they have this awareness of it, but I don't know where that like, but it's like they're not changing it. Now, that doesn't mean that it's self-sabotage is what it is. That's what it feels like. It feels like self-sabotage. It feels like it's like they want this connection. They desire it. They want to be what you need. But then they turn around and they do things that just completely go against that, which is where the inconsistency comes from. So that is going to come more from a place of like them not feeling good enough for love or for what it is that you provide them. So I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit complicated on both sides here. This person's got interesting, like I said, an interesting outlook. Okay, truth of this connection between Aquarius and this person. The feelings are mutual. Yeah, and I was actually just about to say that. I do feel like both of you, like the feelings are there. This isn't like an unrequited thing, but I do feel like, and then there's the commitment and the destined soul ties. It feels like the feelings are there, which actually I feel like makes things even more complicated. Because you know that they care about you, you know that they love you, or you at least feel that way. I feel like you feel that way about them, but then the behavior like completely goes against what it is that they feel or even that they want, which is where the only explanation for that is self-sabotage. I feel like this person struggles not just to commit to you, but like to themselves. Like they struggle with like committing to goals of their own almost. Like, and I mean that because I feel like, or I say that because I feel like they lack this like self-commitment. But this destined soul ties, I mean, this is going to complicate things because, you know, when I see this card, this often to me is this representation of like, okay, this connection is happening for a reason. Like this was destined, you know, that you and this person were supposed to meet. But there's often a lesson associated with it. It's like there's a caveat with it. So I feel like there is definitely a deeper purpose to what's happening here, like to this connection. But I feel like it's a little bit more complicated than just like what is being shown or what you're seeing or like looking at it from like a surface level perspective, which is really the goal with these readings. Like the goal is to get underneath the surface, to figure out, you know, what's going on behind the scenes, you know, in the energy. Because a lot of things can get, our judgment can get really clouded when our perspective is a little too like zoomed in. So the goal is to kind of zoom out that perspective and see things from in a different way. But let's see. Overall theme of this reading for Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know about this connection in order to move forward in alignment with their higher self? Redacted. Money versus love. Sparks. Okay. This card, I feel like, perfectly describes like what I was trying to say, where it's like there's a lot of things that aren't very clear when you're just kind of looking at the connection. And I feel like a lot of things that are needing your attention. Now, the money versus love card, it doesn't necessarily literally mean somebody is choosing money or over love, but I do very much see it as like over prioritizing the material and under prioritizing like soul driven desires. And what I really mean by that is, you know, sometimes, you know, when we're dealing with somebody who checks a lot of our boxes, like on the surface, you know, they have the looks that we want, the job that we want, the family that we want, or that we're looking for, like whatever the case might be. It's like on the surface, things look really good, but then when we start to you know, dive below the surface, it's like, okay, well, they struggle with commitment and they're emotionally unavailable and they don't know how to communicate. And like we start to under prioritize the things that we really need and start to over prioritize the things that they give us. And what I mean by that is like you start to accept less than what it is that you need and desire, and you start to go, well, I'm just going to take what I can get from this person because they have a lot of the things that I desire, and what if I never find someone better? I feel like this is a big question. This is like, what if I never find someone better? It's like, I know that this isn't what I want, but what if nothing better ever comes along? And I think that has got so many people stuck in relationships or patterns that don't serve them, because it's like, well, what if nothing better ever comes along? And that can happen in not just relationships, but in a lot of different areas of our life too. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot that is needing to be addressed in this reading. I feel like Spirit's got a lot to say about this connection for sure. All right, Aquarius, let's look at your side of this. Inconsistencies of someone better. This is Aquarius's energy toward the person they are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. Aquarius's side of this connection. Four of Wands in reverse. I'm pretty sure this is the exact same first card that came out in the Libra reading. And I promise this deck has been shuffled. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's a different meaning for sure. Okay, Four of Wands in reverse with the Tower. The Judgment in reverse. Three of Pentacles. The Eight of Swords. Whoa. The World in reverse. I feel like I need to pull one or two more. Don't totally feel like I have the full story. Four of Swords. Is that in reverse? Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. Upright. The Empress. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's in reverse. Okay. I'm glad I pulled those last two cards. Okay. So there is definitely, there's a pattern here between you and this person. And that pattern is the inconsistency. It's like, showing up, being what you desire, being what you need, being, like, that they can be. And then honestly, kind of flipping a switch, like being very, very different from that, being very opposite from that. And it's like this Tower moment starts to happen where it's like there's this emotional intensity, and this to me gives like roller coaster. It's like things are good, things feel good, and then just like something happens and it's like bam, like you're crying or you're heartbroken or you're hurting for some reason because of something this person did, and then you're down there until things start to feel good again. And I feel like that this energy of kind of being trapped in this has been happening for some time now. I don't necessarily know like how long, and I feel like that pattern, like each situation is it's gonna be different, right? Maybe you've been with this person for a few months and that's been a long time for you, or maybe it's been like decades. Like I feel like it could just kind of depend on your own journey and the way that you are perceiving this. But with the Judgment in reverse and the Three of Pentacles, I feel like there's this. It's like you see this person through, because Judgment in reverse often gives like the energy of rose-colored glasses, like seeing someone through the lens of like who you want them to be, instead of like who they show you that they are. And I feel like you see them through a very empathetic and very loving lens, and I feel like you try to do that as much as you can, but then it's like their behavior sometimes is very shocking or like very alarming, or especially when you guys are dealing with like the downward part of that emotional roller coaster. I feel like it's almost like you're like, I don't even recognize you, or I don't even know who you are. And you just kind of wait until, you're able to kind of like see them again through that lens. And I feel like that keeps things really, really chaotic here. Now, I also feel that, I feel like there is more to this story. Like, I think a lot of times when I'm talking about, looking at somebody through the lens of truth, that also requires us to look at ourselves through the lens of truth. Sometimes we, have to be willing to take accountability for the role that we play in our own suffering. If we're on a roller coaster ride with somebody, we at some point have to be like, okay, I keep getting on this ride, right? I keep buying a ticket, I keep waiting in line, and I keep getting on this ride. And I don't say that to say like you should blame yourself for what's happening here, but to look at this a little bit closer and to look at the pattern that is occurring here and the place from which it's stemming from. Because the very real and honest truth I feel like that Spirit is trying to present in this is that you are deserving of more than what is taking place in this connection. As of right now, the roller coaster ride is not healthy, and it can have a really, really negative impact on your mental health, your emotional health, even sometimes your physical health. Like you can get sick more, you can start to develop chronic illnesses when you are just emotionally drained and struggling a lot, especially if there's a lot of emotional whiplash. And I feel like this pattern you've been trapped in for a while, Spirit is really trying to push you to find a way out of it, but there's a lot of fear associated with it. A lot of fear that if you walk away, and I'm not saying you need to walk away, okay? I'm not telling you what to do, but I do feel like there's a lot of fear driving your decisions, because it's like, well, I don't want to end up alone. And again, like, what if nothing better comes along? Or what if this person does change and finally is consistent and I miss out on that and then I never had the love that I, deserve and desire? And I think that there's a need to zoom out your perspective a little bit, because as of right now, you are currently accepting a hell of a lot less than what it is that you deserve in your relationships. And what we accept in our relationships is what we attract. So when we're accepting less than what we deserve, we continue to attract more of the same. And I feel like there might be a little bit of a need for stronger boundaries, or for more of realizing that you deserve to set stronger boundaries. I think that there's a need to look at this through more of a truthful lens. Especially if you're kind of viewing this person through the lens of rose-colored glasses and having a lot of, giving them a lot of grace and giving them a lot of empathy and being super understanding, because those are incredibly important things to do. Okay, absolutely. Yes, more grace, more empathy, more love would make this world a better place. But toxic empathy is a thing where we empathize so much with what somebody else is going through and the way that they're impacted that we forget to include ourselves in that equation and in the things that we're addressing. And I feel like seeing these cards, it feels like you need to get off this roller coaster. This roller coaster ride is making you sick. And I feel like that is easier said than done. I'm not saying that the only way off is to walk away. We haven't even seen this person's energy yet. But, the more that we accept the way that somebody treats us, especially if it's intense and there's a roller coaster and it's this and it's that, the more that we actually create more of the same. And I think it's hard, because with the kind of my attention was drawn to this money versus love card. I think it's hard when somebody has some of the things that we desire, when somebody checks a lot of our boxes. But then there's this, there's a lot that I feel like you're really lacking in this too. So let's see what this person has going on here. Someone has unmet needs with triggers. This person's energy toward Aquarius. This person's energy toward Aquarius, please. The Four of Swords, seeing it on both sides, is definitely giving mirroring. This is a deeply mirrored connection. Meaning that you guys definitely poke a lot at each other's insecurities and deeper wounds, and there's just a lot of triggering, so things can very much go like 0 to 100 really quickly. Wow. So, okay, yeah, there is love here. I don't doubt that. I mean, I see it. I've seen it with the feelings are mutual. I even was going to say it before I saw that card, and then you were seeing the Two of Cups. I feel like this person does... Oh, okay. Yeah. They do have love here. for you and for this connection. You could also be dealing with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but you definitely don't have to be. I just feel like this connection makes both of you very emotional. There's a lot of like just intense emotional energy here. This person is not aligned with their higher self. And I feel like because of that, they make a lot of decisions that don't align with their highest good. And that might not be an intentional thing. It's just more of an unawakened and unconscious thing. Now, the way that I kind of see what's coming through is that there is a lot of love that they have, right? But they're also kind of unstable. Not that they're like crazy, like mentally, that's not what I'm saying, but like they're just like emotionally, like they're a little bit all over the place here. And I think that it's interesting because you might not know it. Like that doesn't mean that they show it, especially if you're dealing with someone that really pushes down their emotions and like doesn't feel them and doesn't address them, which is actually going to create even more issues because I feel like this person gets very triggered like very easily. Like they get very angry very easily or they get very upset very easily. Like they're not a very patient person. And again, I feel like that's why it can really go 0 to 100 because when somebody feels triggered and they respond from a triggered place, it's usually going to trigger someone else. It's like the same kind of thing of like if you're going to try to have a conversation with someone and you come at them in a defensive way, like automatically blaming them or accusing them of something, the other person's going to get defensive. And it feels like that really, it happens here. It's like boom, 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 and then explosion. And I think that leads to the emotional roller coaster I'm talking about. And it feels like this person kind of lacks awareness, not just self-awareness, but like emotional awareness and maybe even some emotional intelligence. So it's interesting because it's like they can recognize that what they're doing is not okay or that their behavior affects you or that they're not meeting their needs. But what is interesting to me, and I guess a little bit more concerning, is that they're not doing anything about it. It's like they just continue to repeat the same patterns and same behaviors. It's like their karmic cycle keeps this connection stuck in a cycle. And you know where it stems from? Okay. I feel like the way this connection has a tendency to make this person not feel good enough for you. And I feel like this person already kind of has underlying feelings of like not being good enough for you. And for the connection, again, I'm not saying you know this, and you probably don't feel this, they probably haven't said this, but it's interesting because I feel like you also have those same feelings of not feeling good enough for this person, and then those insecurities of one person not feeling good enough for the other start to come out and create a lot of issues. So I feel like this person and a lot of their behavior, it actually stems a lot from their insecurity and their lack of healing. And a lot of the decisions that they make in this connection is from this place of feeling like they're not deserving of you, which, sure can add empathy to it. But I also feel that the emotional roller coaster, it's not going to stop until something changes. Right? And obviously, yes, it'd be easy to be like, well, I need this person to heal, or I need them to address these things, or I need them to change their behavior. But I also I also know that we can't change other people. We have to take people with where they're at, let them be who they are, let them do what they're going to do. And we have to decide how we can best protect ourselves, especially if we're being harmed. One of the best things my therapist ever taught me is the 80-20 rule in relationships. And the core of this is that no relationship is perfect. So 80% of the time things are good and 20% of the time things are not so good. You're probably dealing with a pretty healthy relationship. But if you flip that, and if 80% of the time things are not so good and 20% of the time things are good, but you're spending the majority of your time wishing that things were better, you're probably needing to address something, because that is basically saying that you're spending the majority of your time unhappy and wishing that you were being treated well or loved better or shown up for, which isn't fair, and that's ultimately going to be harmful to you in the end. So I feel like it's hard because you both do have really strong feelings for each other. And I feel like, again, that really actually adds to everything because you both care a lot. but I feel like there is a need to kind of address things less from the perspective of what they need to do, like how they need to grow, how they need to heal, how they need to, change or whatever, and look at the mirror of how this is pushing you to heal, grow, and evolve in some way, because that might help you be able to make decisions that align with what's best for you right now and not what would be best for you if this person were to change. Because if we're making decisions based on like where we want someone to be, we're going to constantly be let down when they show up as they are. And making decisions based on where somebody is at and choosing the path that aligns with what's going to be best for us based on who they show us that they are, that's where we start to create healthier relationships, whether it's with this person or not. It opens you up to what's, really meant for you. But I do feel like this connection does have a deeper purpose in your healing, which is why I feel like there is such a strong mirror here. And I feel like that deeper purpose, the more that you address it, the more that you're going to start to allow yourself to get off of this roller coaster a little bit and start to find a little bit more security, not just in this connection, but just like within yourself. Because our relationships with other people are a reflection of our relationship with ourselves. So we're going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to look in between this connection. You have the feelings are mutual with destined soul ties. So we are going to be looking at the deeper purpose and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. Bye, Aquarius.